The salmon had just hit the table when my parents struck. My mother lifted her glass, smiling too wide. "We're so excited," she said, loud enough for the whole restaurant to hear, "that our wonderful child here will be hosting her sister's baby shower. $10,000 of love!" Applause from the nearby tables. My father beamed. My sister looked smug. And me? I froze, fork hovering midair. They hadn't asked. They'd decided. Worse, they'd already posted it online. This wasn't the first ambush. With my parents, love was always conditional. Money, favors, appearances, they called it family duty. I called it exploitation. When my sister wanted a wedding venue, I was volunteered. When Dad's car broke down, I was happy to help. And every time, I swallowed the humiliation, because that's what children do. But children grow up, and children remember. I found out about the post hours before dinner. A friend sent me a screenshot. My parents standing beside my pregnant sister, captioned, "So proud our eldest will be funding a $10,000 shower for her baby sister, a true role model." The comments poured in. "She's amazing. What a generous sister. They're lucky to have her." Generous? They hadn't even asked me. It wasn't generosity, it was theft. I said nothing. I dressed for dinner, sat at the table, and waited for the performance. In the past, I would have caved, nodded, smiled, written the check while resentment ate me alive. But not anymore. This time, I had something stronger than anger. I had clarity. And clarity is lethal. I didn't need lawyers or revenge plots. I needed precision. One moment, one cut, deep and clean. So I waited for them to play their hand. I let them raise their glasses, call me generous, bask in the glow of their manipulation. And when the waiter set down the salmon, glistening and perfect, I leaned back in my chair and made my move. The execution. I raised my hand. "Excuse me," I said, catching the waiter before he could leave. "There's been a mistake." My parents turned, confused. I kept my eyes on the waiter. "Can you do me a favor? Please remove their meals. They won't be staying." A hush fell over the table. The waiter blanked. My father's jaw dropped. My mother's smile curdled. "What are you doing?" she hissed. I finally looked at her. Calm, even, deadly. "You posted online that I'd spend $10,000 on a party. You never asked me. You never gave me a choice. You tried to buy my silence with public shame." I set my fork against the salmon. "Well, this is my choice." The waiter shifted nervously, but I nodded at him. "Take their plates. Leave mine." He obeyed. 3 dishes vanished from the table. Only my salmon remained. My sister sputtered, "You can't be serious!" I cut into the fish, slow and deliberate. Dead serious. My father's face went red. "This is family!" I chewed, swallowed, and leaned forward. "No, this is extortion, and I'm done playing along." They stared at me like they didn't recognize the person in front of them. They didn't, because the child they abandoned to their selfishness was gone, and the adult who replaced her wasn't afraid to cut them out. The restaurant buzzed with whispers. My parents, humiliated, scrambled to collect their things. My sister hissed something about betrayal, irony dripping from her voice. I didn't flinch. I didn't follow. I ate. Every bite of salmon was freedom. Every scrape of my fork was revenge. When the check came, I paid only for myself. And I tipped well, for the waiter who carried out my sentence. They ambushed me at dinner, thinking I'd fold. They thought the weight of family guilt, of public pressure, would trap me like it always had. But they miscalculated. I no longer feared their disapproval. I no longer needed their love. They wanted me to host a $10,000 baby shower. Instead, I hosted their downfall in front of strangers, and I enjoyed every mouthful. because the truth is simple. They can post whatever lies they want, but only I decide the cost. And that night, the only thing I paid for was salmon.